Let's do this, everybody. We're doing it in El Hotel in Williamsburg, Virginia. And guess what I got when I was at the store? Crab chips. Let's crab chips. Hey, Brian. What's going on, Brian? We go, Brian. Rick's in the house from Stillwell, Kansas. Oh, man. It smells like that crab stuff. That Thousand Island. You know what I'm talking about. What the hell's that crab dip called? A crab dip. Crab seasoning. What the hell's it called, man? I was listening to a guy on an interview today. It made me happy. From an old band I used to listen to called One Life Crew. They used to be in this band called Confront, and then he went. They went to One Life Crew and then Pit Boss 2000. And I was listening to these guys. This guy being interviewed today. He's my age. He's got 6 kids. He's actually Jewish, which is kind of funny because he always said, "You're a right-wing Nazi." He goes, "I'm a Jew, buddy." And it was just kind of funny. And he couldn't remember crap. I was like, dude, I know the feeling, man. A freaking season, Thousand Island season. Old Bay, that's it, Brian. Old Bay. Yes, sir. You got it. Right on. Look at Gary. Went to go see AC/DC tribute band. I know a guy, I'm not even sure. Well, let's just put it this way. There's a very prominent Van Halen tribute band that if you ever get a chance, go see him. Because let's just say I know one of the guys in the band. You know what I'm saying? Because I got backstage passes. Gary wanted to go see Thunderstruck and ACB. Where was it? In Ohio, Gary? They play Whole Lotta Rosie. Or they play Let There Be Rock. Hello, New Hampshire Jeff. Let there be light. Let there be sound. Let there be guitars. Let there be rock. It's a beautiful day. I haven't Hans or Hans because well, let's just put it this way. I like women, all right? So, I mean, literally, I like the ladies, you know what I'm saying? So, if I've heard of a band called A Beautiful Day, I probably would not have 4 kids and a beautiful wife. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the kind of band that they appeal to. I'm goofing. I mean, I actually listened to a band called, hey, Chesapeake, right on there, Monica. I'm in your neck of the woods right now. I'm sitting in Williamsburg, as a matter of fact. There's Tom. There's another PA guy, old Tom. Tom, did you see my NASA, NASSA, the early years shirt I had on yesterday? Did you see that? Did I post it on this channel? I'm not sure if I did. I'm not sure if I posted it here or not. So again, folks, I got the bulk of the people right now are on Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. Looks like we just got 1 on Facebook, and we got 7 on the other channel. So on the other Josh Scanlon channel. So if you guys are, if you're wondering how come you can't see the comments, because you can only see the comments for what you are. I think I'm not sure on Facebook actually, but you can only see the. All right, cool. All right, so I'll check these guys out there, Hans. I like hippie bands. It's a beautiful day. Anyway, so if you're wondering how come I can't see the comments, it's because all the comments, by and large, are going to be on the main channel, Heritage Wealth Planning. So, yeah, NASA, the early years, SS. You know what I'm saying? SS. I like hippie bands, Hans. Let me check these guys out. I'm listening to a band called right now Unwritten Law. And if you would have told me 10 years ago I'd be listening to kind of like poppy punk, I would have said, you're crazy. Get the hell out of here. But I kind of like it. Not going to lie to you. I kind of like it. The drumming is phenomenal. And I like it. Initially, I was like, dude, that lyric, the voice has got to go. But I like it. I guess I don't like ladies anymore. Now that I like some pop punk band, I'm like, oh, goodness gracious. I'm going 57 flavors. Let's listen to real quick. A Beautiful Day. All right. So here's a poll question. Can I put a poll in here? I don't think I do. I did a video on his thing today, JD, just earlier. I just posted like an hour ago. So you can check that video out. All right. So here's a poll for you guys. Ready? 5% Scott. Scott says, what's my general recommendation for withdrawal rate? 5%. Absolutely. Been like that since the dawn of mankind. It's a beautiful day in what? Put in the show notes. It's a beautiful day. Mr. Rogers. Remember Mr. Rogers? It's a beautiful day in what's the next 2 words? It's a beautiful day in what? All All right, put in the show notes. What was a beautiful day in Mr. Rogers? It's a beautiful day in the. It's a beautiful day in the. All right. So we got a couple people. Here we go. Karen and all right. How dare you joke with me, JD? I don't know. He didn't make a thing like he's joking, Ted. Do you know is JD like your confidant or something like that? Do you know that do you know old JD? So let me just sum it up. I think it's silly to do an 8% withdrawal rate. I think that's dumb and dumber. All right, dumb and dumber. All right, so we got all right, so we got no, but there's Ted. All right, so where's my man Tom? PA Tom. What does Mr. Rogers say, PA Tom? It's a beautiful day in. Look at my wife's on Facebook. Give me a thumbs up. It's a beautiful day in. There's two words I'm looking for. You guys don't pay attention to directions. Look at my man here. Look at Ronald Alexander is on from Facebook. Right on, Ronald. Appreciate you being here. It says two words. It's a beautiful day in the two words. Hey, man, this is my beautiful lady. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I miss my life. Oh, my wife would pay attention because she has attention to detail, Hodges. I say, what's the two words? Two. Oh, look at Tom. Look at Tom. There we go, Hodges. There we go. All right. We all, right on, Ken, the hood. We all know it's a beautiful day. Babes, are you still on here? Charlotte Rooney, Charlotte Carey. What does Mr. Rogers sing? It's a beautiful day in what? That Big Mike? Look at Big Mike. Oh my goodness. How dare you? You filled in. How dare you, Hodges? Don't no. You're banned. Banned for life. Let's see if my wife wants to post anything. She's not gonna respond. How dare you, Charlotte? How dare you not respond when I ask a question of my wife? Oh boy. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Now it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. It's called the Mandela effect. Things change. And the irony of it all, we all know it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. But if you look on YouTube or any other places and you hear Mr. Hey, Angie, Rick, Doug, if you look on Facebook, well, I guess Facebook, I don't know, but if you look on YouTube or any other places where Mr. Rogers sings, he will say it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. This neighborhood. Yet we all remember the beautiful day in the neighborhood. In fact, there's a Tom Hanks video that says it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Not video, the movie on the back of the. I don't know if it's still like that or not. It says the neighborhood, but the actual movie is not that. It's the beautiful day in this neighborhood. How come everyone remembers it a beautiful day in the neighborhood, except that's not reality? The reality is a beautiful day in this neighborhood. That's called the Mandela effect. You know for a fact. Hey, Ron's first time on the live stream. You know for a fact that it was a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Is Denise on here? Denise, you on here? She's like, it's just misremembering. How do we all misremember it? It's the Mandela effect. It got changed. I'm telling you. I don't know how it worked. It's crazy though. I'm gonna Google it. It'll say, we were just misremembering it. No, look, see, and some people will say this neighborhood. Do you really? Because that's okay. Do you remember it? Well, you're German, so you don't. Come on, you got to erase your past anyway. So Angie's used to erasing her past because she's German. Do you really remember it being this neighborhood, Angie? For real, it's okay. I'm just goofing on you. You really remember being this neighborhood? Jeff, I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a good question, man. At this stage, I don't know anymore, man. I don't know anymore. But it's funny because we have, I could be. I don't think it's a glitch. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. But there are always some people, the vast majority say other things. And there'll be people like Angie who says, no, it's this neighborhood. And according to today, they're right. And I hope Angie didn't look that up, because if she looked it up, they would tell her it's this neighborhood. But you and I all remember it as the neighborhood. We all do. Isn't it crazy? It's just kind of like where two or more are gathered. I forgot what that Matthew. I forgot. Anyway, where two or more are gathered. Now it's where two or three are gathered. Isn't that crazy? Man, it's nuts. I just thought that was fun. All right. So we got my man says, what percentage should I shoot for my 403B if I get 60% pension on my bet? I don't get it. I don't get what you're asking me. What percent should I shoot for my 403B? I don't know what that means. Should I shoot the what percentage of what? Like contributions? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That I need help on that. So Ron's saying, what percentage should I shoot for my 403B if I get 60% of my pension from my last 4 years? And then he says still 15%. I'm assuming still contributions. Yeah, man. I mean, I used to listen. Okay, contributions. Yeah, I mean, you got to at least do the match, Ron. So if they're giving you a match, yep, it's this neighborhood. But it wasn't this neighborhood. It's the neighborhood. Isn't that crazy? Oh, you're nuts. And I just busted on Tom here because Tom, he and I don't see. I mean, when I say don't see eye to eye on many things, I mean a lot of things we do, but a couple of things we don't. It's like all in jest. It's fun. It's fun. We have disagreements and lots of stuff, and it's fun. But anyway, all right. So Ronald, I would match until you extend your I would put the contributions to the extent of the match, but after that, I'd put all in cash, man. What I'm saying. Cash is king. I mean, look, I can't tell you what to do. So this is you got to do you. I'm taking advantage of the match, and then I'm loading up with cash. I'm telling you, the last couple of years, you just want. I mean, you might have a bunch of cash now. I don't know, but assuming you don't have any cash, everything's in your 403B. Man, I'm loading up on some cash. Yeah, I got to pay more tax. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay more tax. That's a fact. And then when you retire, you won't have to pay that tax because the money's built up in cash. Cash is king, forever will be, and now we're getting 5%. I'm saying, okay, I'm taking my money from my 403B. I'm reducing the contributions to the max, and then I'm putting all the rest in cash. Yes, I will have to pay a couple $1,000s more in tax this year and the next year, forever I stop working. But now all that money I was previously deferring to future tax and not really liquid as much as I like, now it's all here liquid. I can do whatever I want with. Cash is gold is king and cash is queen. No, you don't even get a match. Oh yeah, dude. If you're in New York State, yeah, because you guys get a pretty sweet deal on the pension. Yeah, I'd be building up cash. Again, this is just me. Pay the tax now, and that way you don't have to worry about in the future. And you have liquidity as well. I'm telling you, man, I've been doing this for a long time. The people who have, who was I working with the other day? Oh, it's these people, this couple from, they sold their house in Tennessee, and these guys are crushing. 3 dogs, 2 black labs, 1 chocolate lab. And just, oh my goodness, just gorgeous puppies. And well, they're not puppies, but they're just like hanging out and jumping on the lady's lap and like so doggone cute. It's like, yeah. See, the Jiffy peanut butter one never did much for me, Jeff. That didn't. I don't know. That didn't do anything for me. There's always stovetop stuffing. I used to say that all the time. I was putting my kids. I say move over bacon. Now it's time for something leaner. Good old sizzling, and I'd say stovetop stuffing. Better than, I forgot what it was. Better potatoes or something like that. It was always Stouffer's. And now it's not Stouffer's. They say Stouffer's never made stovetop stuffing. You're like, well, how come all these other people remember it being, for me, because that's always on football commercials. Stouffer's stovetop stuffing, better than potatoes. Yeah, right here, Jeff. Look at that, Jeff. The CD, 100%, man. Yeah, look at Ted. Yep. What's a good community to live in the northeast of Knoxville? So these people real quick. So they had sold their house in Tennessee, and they moved to Georgia, and they even had a mortgage. And initially, I was worried. I was like, "This ain't gonna work, man," because for some reason the money that they had on the sale of their home didn't transfer into the right capital. I forgot what happened, but it didn't. I was like, "This is gonna be bad." But anyway. And then when we actually manually entered it, because they had I think it was like $500,000 in cash or something. And they had a big mortgage. Don't get me wrong. I don't normally like that, but it's like, well, they got $500,000. They need, what do they need? They need like $50,000 a year. And I just off top, I can't remember because they don't spend that much. They like to go motorcycle riding. They like their dogs, and they, other than the mortgage, they just don't have any debt, man. I mean, don't have any big expenditures. I think they needed $50,000 a year or something. I just can't remember off the top of my head. or they needed 100,000 a year, but with 50,000 a year was come from Social Security, or they needed 20, they needed 50,000 a year, or 25,000 was come from. So I can't remember. Anyway, either way, they needed X amount of dollars. Well, for simplicity, just say 50,000 bucks. They're getting 25 from Social Security because maybe she didn't get it because she was a teacher too. I forgot, and she was subject to the WEP. I can't remember. Anyway, for some reason, they were getting half of what they needed from Social Security. And I was like, well, just put the other half in your money market account. Right now, it's paying 5.25 at the Vanguard money market, and that's paying you 25,000 a year. So 500,000 at 5%, that's 25,000 a year. That's 25,000 plus your Social Security is 25,000, and it wasn't exactly this precise. It was pretty sweet. I was like, why would you do anything else? Easy. But and they didn't say this, but you hear all the freaking fools out there. But stocks for the long run. It's like, dude, if you won the game, stop playing. And then what they'll say is, yeah, but what if the interest rates go down? I said, do you even hear yourself talk? Do you even hear yourself? If the interest rates go down, what do you think that has happened to the overall economic conditions in the United States? Take a wild guess. If interest rates go down, the economy is probably flattening out. It's on its back, I should say. And what usually happens to the stock market when the economy is flat on its back? It usually goes down. Not all the time, but there's pretty lot of precision there. So if I'm sitting over here collecting $25,000 a year without touching principal, and then the economy tanks and they've got to start lowering interest rates, all this money, I'm not touching principal, and the principal isn't being reduced. I can slide on over here to a whole lot cheaper stocks and have a high dividend yield. Because remember, dividend yield was the basis of dividend yield. Well, the basis is how much they pay in dividend first and foremost. So you know for a fact, you got $10 stock, and they pay $1 a year in dividends. All right, $10 stock. I don't have my thing to write on. $10 stock, $1 a year in dividends. The dividend yield is 10%. All right, remember that. $10 stock, $1 a year dividends. The dividend yield is 10%. Now we're going to say that $10 stock dropped to 5. All right, so now the 5, what was 10 is now 5. And we'll just say they continue to pay the $1 a year in dividend. What's your dividend yield now? It's 20%. So the stock dropped by 50%. Nothing changed on the dividend. They're still paying the $1 dividend. And now your dividend yield is 20%. So how do you get higher dividend yields? Well, only 2 ways. They increase the dividend that they pay, or the stock price gets reduced. That's it, man. There's only 2 ways. Increase the dividend or reduce the stock price. Will they increase the dividend when the economy's on its back? Maybe, maybe not. But if the economy goes on its back and the stock market follows suit, the dividend yields go up. That's just a fact, a jack. And so you're sitting all this cash over here. You're like, man, I'm getting by. Interest rates fall. What happens? Dividend yields go up. I buy stocks at a cheaper price, a higher dividend yield. Now, what if they lower the dividend? I can't do this in my head. Let's say they lower the dividend by 20%. So now we're going to bust out my trusty calculator here. I don't know if y'all can see this. So we got 80 cents per share dividend. That's the shit. That's what we're paying per share. 80 cents per share. It was $1. We're dropping by 20%. So stock price is 50, all right, but the dividend is 80 cents. So the yield is still 0.50. It's 16%. So even if the dividend yield drops, the actual dividend it pays, the company pays, drops from $1 to 80 cents. Guess what? If the stock price went from 10 to 5, you still got 16% dividend yield, whereas before it's 10%. I don't think a lot of people get that, man. It's crazy. All right, here we go. Yeah, Rick. Yeah, this is a pretty good strategy. 100%, man. 8% withdrawal while my Social Security, 100%. That's absolutely. I talk to people all the time doing this, Rick. Taking 8 to 10%. Like, well, you can't do that for the rest of your life, but you don't need to do it for the rest of your life. When Social Security kicks in, a lot of people are freaking fine. It's crazy. I talk to a lot of people, lots of people. I just run these numbers. I said, look, you're good for the next 5-6 years, and basically the next 10 years, from 60 to 70 or something like that. You're going to be pulling a pretty significant distribution yield out of your portfolio. That's just a fact, because they're not taking Social Security. Now, once Social Security kicks in, not only you're not taking you're not having, I can't remember exactly what it was. Once Social Security kicks in, your distribution percent they have to take from your portfolio drops from like 8, 9, 10 to like 1. All right. And then once RMDs kick in, now required distributions, now you got more money coming in that's going out the door because the IRS wants to pay tax on it. So that's absolutely the way to go. From like 60 to 70, 57 to 67, you're going to take 8% a year out. That's absolutely fine. I mean, assuming that is, you're not going to freaking go on a major spending hike and all that stuff, but I'm going to bump my yeah, 100%. Finally, savers are being rewarded. Finally, for the first time in for a long time, being leverages a kid. Hey, what man, Chris from Maine. What's up, Chris? Y'all getting snow up there? I thought I saw snow coming at least for Kathy Hochul and everyone's favorite governor in New York. I heard she's saying a snow blast for Thanksgiving. Let's see what's going on in the great state of Maine. I'm not calling for. No, it don't look that bad. Hell, man. I don't see anything up there. So I don't know what the hell Kathy Hochul's calling for, stupid idiot. She sucks, dude. I still can't get over the fact oh man, the guy in Kentucky won, the Democrat. That's crazy to me. Because abortion. Well, and all these Republican rhinos, we got to moderate on abortion. Oh yeah. Let's just allow for abortion in the third trimester. Why not? We got to moderate on abortion. How come the culture wars always supposedly go against the Republicans, but the Democrats are eager to take advantage of the culture wars? How come they? It's the stupidest thing ever. Yeah, we'll sacrifice some babies to get some political points because once we win, we'll definitely reduce abortion. It's crazy, man. It's like, well, remember the Defense of Marriage Act, DOMA, was freaking signed, sealed, and delivered by Clinton, by freaking all the Democrats voted for it. All of them did. 20 years later, that sucker is eliminated, and freaking gays are getting married like it was yesterday's news. Not only are gays getting married, they're freaking going into trans crap into school and kindergarten. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And even like some Catholic, I don't know about Catholic. I just saw some stupid church where their chaplain was saying, gay pride. It's like, dude, this is crazy. So Defense of Marriage Act, like 1996 or something like that. Fast forward 20 years. So you fight the good fight. You're going to take some lumps, but this is why the Green Party was able to pull the Democrats more to the left. I'm telling you right now, man, there's a method to this madness. If there's no challenge, and this is why the AfD in Germany, by the way, the Alternative for Deutschland, Alternative for Deutschland, AfD, freaking crushing political party. Love them. They're pulling the Christian, Christian Democrats. I can't remember whatever stupid Angela Merkel was, whatever that party was. I think it's a CDU. They're pulling them to the right because there's an alternative to the mainstream supposed right wing. And the Republicans need to have that too, because if they don't, they're Mitch McConnell. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And who needs Mitch McConnell? Lindsey Graham's. No one needs that crap. So you got to stand firm and say, I'm not voting for you guys. If you guys are just freaking are going to go, hook, line, and sinker, be a child baby killer. I'm not doing it. It's not happening. I don't care less what the votes come out. I don't care. You have to stand to you, because the same thing happened to Democrats with gay marriage. And hell, the Republicans now are the only ones defending gays anymore. It's crazy. So you got to stand firm on that stuff. It's funny how in 20 years, the Republicans like, look what the Saudis are doing to gays, or whoever it is. I'm like, well, the Democrats are all in favor of Hamas, and the Republicans are the ones like Israel. They respect gay rights and stuff. You're like, wow, hasn't the worm turned, man? The Democrats support Hamas, who's a very conservative group of people, or the Palestinians. I hate to say Hamas. Everyone says Hamas and Palestinians are one and the same. They're just not, but whatever. And the Republicans are the ones defending the gays. And the Republicans are the ones who are defending the other Abrahamic religion in Israel. That's I can't say it out loud because you never know who's going to say, oh, you're being anti this or anti that. But the Democrats are the ones letting them out to a pasture. And yet somehow Republicans are the anti-gay, the anti-Semite. Again, I was talking with mom yesterday. I said, yes. They run out of juice there. Am I back on here? What? Am I back on? Am I back on? Can you lose his? Today I filed for social. Today I'm full retirement age for Social Security. Kick ass, dude. Kick ass. Physical gold coins, man. Can you lose? Cash can lose its value. Gold keeps it. Cash can lose its value. Huh. Cash can lose its value. Really? And gold keeps it? Hmm. Let's take a gander. Price of gold in 1980 versus the price of gold 20 years later. I don't know. Look at a chart from price of gold in 1980 to versus the price of gold 20 years later. So remember, my friends, and I know I'm not, gold is not, we still have to work in society. All the gold in the world is not, you can't go buy, what did I buy today? I bought a sandwich from the store. What am I going to do? Give him a gold ounce? I mean, cash is king. Cash is liquid. Gold is not liquid. I like gold. You should have some gold. I have some gold. You should always get some gold and silver. These are not liquid things. They're not a currency. Cash is a currency. And this is why Bitcoin is not a currency. You can't use Bitcoin to do basic transactions. You just can't. Remember they said Bitcoin would replace a dollar? I mean, it's stupid back then. It's stupid now. It's not gonna. Or Bitcoin is a store of value. I'm like, well, store of value relative to what? When you bought at 60, I don't know. Was Bitcoin doing 30,000 now? I don't know. I mean, how do you say it's a store? The same thing with gold. Gold is going to, when we go back to the gold standard, it's never going to happen. Gold is a store of value. Not if you bought it in 1980, it's not. It's just simply it's not, man. I'm just telling you, if you bought it in 2000, you made a crap load of money on gold from 2000, 2010, and then the wheels fell off. Again, same kind of thing with Bitcoin. Now, gold as a store of value over generations, absolutely. 100. I'm talking generations. Gold as a store of value against, oh crap, the commies are coming. Absolutely. But in terms of gold as a currency, a transaction thing, it's silly to go this way. Cash is the only thing that will allow you to buy your bag of us crab chips. And I forgot to go to the ATM and take out cash. I've been using my credit card this whole trip, and I hate using my credit card. I love using cash. Cash is your one way to tell the system to F off. That's your one way to say, obviously they can track anything we do. I mean, hell, they probably got a chip in the cash and all. I get it. But still, at the end of the day, that's your best way to retain some semblance of freedom is with cash. Because freaking credit card ain't it. Writing checks in it. Cash is still king. Now, if they audit you and they say, hey, I see I took $300 out. What happened to that money? Yeah, I don't know. But it doesn't matter because the question is, did you pay tax? When you earn that $300, say, oh, yeah, I paid tax. They can ask you all day long what you did with the money. I don't know. I lost it in a freaking a fire, like my firearms. Somehow my firearms were able to melt. Kind of weird. What else melts? Kind of strange. You know what I'm saying? Something else melts too. Steel melts. Anyway, so I just lost my cash and my firearms in a fire. We didn't see that you filed an insurance claim for the fire. I said, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want my premiums to go up. Anyway, so cash is your one way today to say F you to the friggin' the people who are tracking your every move. And look, at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about it, man. They're going to track if they want. And look, I was watching this. I don't like it. I guess I'm not right wing anymore because I don't like massive destruction in the Palestinian area. I don't like it at all. And I was watching these guys from freaking push button warfare, essentially push button murder. They took these guys out because they were carrying a bag. And I said, so they said, we know they're terrorists. I'm like, do you really know they're terrorists? And they had but the thing that was, they had a dog with them too. So apparently these two guys, you could see from way, 10,000 feet up, they were carrying a bag. Supposedly, I can't see it, but you can see a dog, and the dog was bounced. And yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I was just reading today too about how the U.S. how we bombed a hospital in Iraq because ISIS was there in 2016, and we said ISIS is there. We're going to bomb this hospital, or we sent a missile. We don't know how many civilians we killed, but we got to do what it takes to get rid of ISIS. It just ain't right, dude. Look, I used to be all hot to trot for that stuff too. I'm just not anymore. I find it despicable for sure. But if we don't get them over there, they're going to get us over here. I said, oh, okay. I love that argument. If we don't get them over there, they're going to get us over here, as we have a great sucking sound to the north from our southern border, and nothing's being done with that. Yeah. Well, we got to get that done too. Well, it's not being done. So the idea, what do we do when we're going over there and bomb the hell out of Syria, bomb the hell out of everything? What happens? Well, we create refugees. And where do those refugees end up going? Well, some go through the Darien Gap and the Panama, all that upward. We don't know who they are. Some we bring here deliberately. It's just, I was watching I follow Maine, and the state champion of the Maine soccer, and we all know soccer is silly, but it's boring. It's not a smart man's game. We all know that. But anyway, the state champ of the state of Maine high school soccer was Lewiston High School, of all places. And there's like one white guy on the team, because they're all Somalis that they brought in from Somalia. All Somalis. Crazy. You're thinking Maine, there's like all black except one guy, maybe two. And they're probably, the water boys. And I'm sitting there thinking, why do we have all these Somalis? Oh, because we went to Somalia and we really created that place for safe for democracy. America, we're just doing great around the world. And so when we screw up their stuff, it's like kind of hitting a freaking beehive, and all the bees start swarming. Say, come on over here. I got no problem with the Somalis. I'm not anti them. I find it, people should keep, by and large, to their own people and their own countries. I think Somalis want to live in freaking Lewiston, Maine, or Minneapolis, Minnesota. Of course not. Why are they doing that? Well, because we freaking blew up their country, for heaven's sake. But if we don't get them over there, they're going to come over here. Well, what's that freaking great sucking sound to the north? It's called the borders. And guess who else, while Trump tried to do something, guess who else did not go along with it? Oh, the Republican Party. But they're going to save us. So we better go to Israel and blow up all those Palestinians, because if we don't do it there, they're going to come over here. It's such a freaking clown show. And yet innocent people are being killed left and right. Just to save one life in America is worth it. Say no, because they're coming anyway. They're coming anyway. So if I was head of the Republican Party, I'd say, no, we're not doing anything until we get that damn border covered. Forget Israel, forget Ukraine. Oh, by the way, can I just make a point here too? As I was thinking about this the other day, what was it about the military budget? It's like the military, I forgot what it was. But I was like, man, all this money we're spending on the military, and there was something we could not do. I forgot what it was. So why are we even bothering spending all this money? I forgot what it was now. It's crazy. You need to cut the military budget until they get their crap together. And today they just put out some press release saying, if you were separated from service because you refused to take the vax, you can now reapply to have reapply to be in the service. Just talk to a recruiter and maybe have your dishonorable discharge changed. The freaking scumbags put these guys dishonorably discharged because they wouldn't take their stupid vaccine. Dude, the U.S. military, not the freaking guys in it. The military chain of command is freaking scumbags. That's the uppers, scumbags. There's no other way around it. They said, hey, yeah, they're sharp. We know what's going on. They're preparing for war. You can see it a mile away. They're trying to get their combat arms solidified. How? By having white men on their advertisements trying to show how tough they are. I'm telling you, man, don't fall for it. And now they're saying, you can come on back. We'll change your discharge status, so just come on back. Freaking scumbags, dude. Our military is run by scumbags. These aren't American patriots. They're freaking scum. That's all there is to it. Why are we rewarding them with a bigger and bigger budget? It's insane. I'm freaking pissed, dude. That pisses me off more than anything. They dishonorably discharged honorable men, mostly, some women, I presume, I don't know, but certainly honorable men. And now because their freaking butts are in a bind here, they're like, oh, come on back, Marines. 20% of the Marines who got separated because they wouldn't take their stupid vax were dishonorably discharged. And then after you see what happened on January 6th, the real stuff coming out, you're like, dude, these, you do not revolt. You won't win. You don't win. You revolt by sticking it to them the best way you can, which is by using cash. I mean, I'm not against buying gold, for heaven's sake. Do it. I got no qualm with that. But you still got to pay to Caesar what's Caesar's, and you do it honestly. But you revolt in your own ways by saying, no, As long as you're going to be freaking fighting other man's wars, I'm not voting for you. Defend our own damn. That's what it was. That's what it was. We're spending all this money on our military. Why? Why? Well, because the border is so wide open. We don't know who these people are at all. So why are we even bothering to spend this money in the military? Might as well say it's an invasion. It's an invasion. That doesn't mean all the people coming in are evil scumbags. But vast majority are probably good people. I don't know. But we don't know who they are. They could be. We don't know. Are we not being invaded? Yes. So why the hell we even got a military budget? We have an invasion and our freaking borders right there. Everybody knows it. So why we keep funding the military? So we can go to Israel? It's crazy. And I'm the freaking crazy one? Like, whoa. Why do we spend all this money for the military when we can't defend our own borders? I just saw a vid. Creator believes we have just entered the next 40-year credit cycle of higher interest rates and inflation akin to 1942 to 1982 with micro fluctuations during this cycle. Well, the difference between now and then is the amount of debt that's outstanding. I mean, we have so much, not just us, the entire world is so heavy in debt that if we have a higher interest rate, so, and here's the irony of it all. Do these people even hear themselves? Oh my goodness. If we have higher interest rates, why would we have higher interest rates? And basic stupidity of economics was to whip inflation now, because that's what we all think Paul Volcker did with high interest rates. I've always said a million times a Sunday, it's weird. The high interest rates started in the middle 70s. That didn't whip inflation until 1982. Then just magically, the higher interest rates started, whipped it then. I wonder if there's something else. Oh, maybe some deregulation. Maybe we finally got some stuff under control because Reagan was in office. Jimmy Carter, some of his deregulation started to filter through society. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe energy prices weren't such a big issue anymore. Just throwing it out there is crazy. Had nothing to do with interest rates. But anyway, so the idea of high interest rates to fight high inflation. Well, what? I mean, yes, that did happen in the 1970s and 80s, but it wasn't caused by inflation to cause the high interest rates. What caused inflation was the high energy prices. It's just that simple. It wasn't like there's mass amount of friggin' M2 money supply compared to what we've ever seen before. It's the same. It's just a trajectory of an even Steven trajectory of M2. So what caused the inflation? It was the energy prices. It's just that flippin' simple. Why is inflation somewhat subdued now? Energy prices are shocking. My shocked face. It's crazy. And we know for a fact that green people are on the run. We know that because they overpromise like the left-wing people always do. They overpromise and they underdeliver. And at some point, reality does bite them in the butt. Now, I'm listening on the books on tape. Atlas Shrugged. I've read this before. It's been probably 30 years since I last read it. But let me show you. So I'm listening to Atlas Shrugged. Right there on books on tape or whatever. And Atlas Shrugged is pretty scary because as much as they fixed it, things just went worse. So they had to keep fixing it, basically making criminals out of everybody. It's not likely to happen anytime soon in the U.S. I mean, it could with this new generation of idiots coming up behind, but basically 2 generations behind me, I guess. A lot of people, they don't respect the Second Amendment. They don't respect the First Amendment. Just a lot of dumb morons. That's all there is to it. And they're easily led. The Washington Post used to say that about conservative Christians. They're not very well educated and they're easily led. That's what they said in 1994. Conservative Christians were not very well educated and they're easily led. And that was not an editorial piece. That was a news piece. Anyways, but the truth is the libs are not very well educated and they're easily led. That's just a fact. And that's what liberals are. Tell me what to do, mama. Tell me what to do and I'll do it. I just want someone to like me. I just want to be socially relevant that I'm doing it, making a difference because they need me. Ugh, nothing worse, especially white, rich liberals. Ugh, nothing worse than that. Literally, if you had to take a survey of the worst people in the world, it'd be rich, white liberals. Oh, so bad. Anyway, so the point being is, if we had high inflation, all right, what would cause high inflation? Oh, and I was just reading an article today on Zero Hedge. Oh, Dude, it's so the printing machine, government printer goes whir, and we have high inflation. Oh my goodness. It's a mind-boggling to me that people still say this. I thought that myself in 2008, 9, and 10, when Obama had trillion-dollar deficits. Deficit, not debt, deficit. A deficit is just what is added to the debt. I thought for sure Milton Friedman, freaking inflation is always and everywhere, a monetary phenomenon. That's what he said. Too much money chasing too few goods. I thought for sure that was going to happen after Obama. It didn't happen. It did not happen. There's a little bit of inflation, moderate inflation. Moderately to very low inflation in the teens. It's just a fact. Money machine went burr or were during the Obama years. And Bush too, don't get me wrong. That's just a fact. Inflation was nominal. It just was. So how do you then say, well, this last time, and I've done videos on this, I'm going to do it again. The M2 went through the roof. I showed you if you actually do a log as opposed to just, I think it's arithmetic. So a log, if you actually look at the money, I'm going to bring this up actually, because this is a pet peeve of mine. And we're going to go to St. Louis Fred, M2. All right, let's look this guy up. I'm spicy today, dude. Spicy. I'm spicy Smurf. Was there a spicy Smurf? I don't think so. There should have been a spicy Smurf. That would have been me. Spicy Smurf. All right, let's see if we can't find the M2 here. Is my wife still on here? Because I love my wife. Who's got the best wife ever? That's me. That's me. Who's got the best wife ever? Not you. Not you. I've got the best. All right, so I'm going to show you guys this. I've got the best wife ever because I'm so handsome. At least that's what she thought until I took my mask off. Took my mask off. All right, here we go. All right. So here's what the fools. Yeah, so you can see this. Nice. So here's what the fools are going to say. Look at that. Oh my goodness, money machine go burr. Look at that. That's the inflation. Here's the money supply dropping. Here's the money supply, M2 money supply. If we want to look at M2, I don't have my reading glasses. There we are. All right. M2 money supply consists of M1. All right, we'll talk about M1 here in just a second. M1 plus savings deposits, money market deposit accounts, small denomination, time deposits, a CD. Less individual retirement accounts, QO balances, depository institutions, and balances in retail money market funds, less IRA and QO balances at money market funds. All right. M2 consists of M1 plus M2 we just talked about. So that's what M2 is. That's what this is. The monetary supply. That's what everyone uses for monetary supply. All right. So we say, look at that. That's what makes it go so money machine go burr. We're going to have inflation. All right. So then what we do, and the reason why this looks so bad is because we look at this over here. We go 0 to 4, 4 to 8. All right, so we're going to start 4 to 8 just to show you what I'm talking about. 4 to 8 is an increase of 100%. 8 to 12 is an increase of what? 50%. But that's the same. See how that's the same size there. 4 to 8 and 8 to 12, even though 4 to 8 is an increase by 100% and 8 to 12 is an increase by 50%. That's the same width or whatever that is, like the same inch essentially. It's basically an inch. 12 to 16 is an increase by 33%, yet it's the same thing. 16 to 20 is increased by 20%. And 2024 is increased by, I don't even know what that is. It's like the Mercator map. You ever seen the Mercator map, how Greenland just is huge? That's not reality. That's not reality. It's just like this. This is like the Mercator map, where if you actually log it, or if you in a real map, if you make Greenland look the way it is, it's not nearly as big as what it looks like in the Mercator map, because it's stretched. It's stretched because they wanted to focus on the equator, I guess, whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? So that makes the other things that are further away from the equator stretch. But that's not true. It's just not true. As such, the Greenland looks, you're like, wow, Greenland is huge, but it's not huge. It's just not. All right. So let's log this. The same thing here. We're going to say, well, let's see what it looks like. We're going to go to log scale. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to hit apply. Oh, my Lance. Look at that. That doesn't look that bad. Here's the M2 money supply. A little bit of a bump there, but certainly not anything that's extraordinary. Look at this. So if you actually look from 1995, we are tracking right where we should be. Yeah, a little bit of a bump, but certainly not the same as what this is right there. It's just not the same. A log just means what did it increase over the last year in percentages. People just don't get that. It drives me up the wall. So I'm sitting there reading these people saying, "Oh my goodness, the money machine go burr. Inflation is here because look at all the debt we had." Well, let's look at M2. Let's look at total debt here now too. Hold on a second. It's energy. This is why I'm so anti supposed green energy, because that is your surest path to poverty is green energy. Because you can't operate a functioning society on solar panels, photovoltaic panels, and wind turbines. It's not going to happen. And people say we can get more hydro. First of all, there's not any more hydro to be had. Second of all, the greenies hate hydro anyway. And then they'll say geothermal. Okay, good luck with that. Good luck there. So geothermal is not going to happen. Hydro, there's no more hydro to create. I mean, can you dam up a whole bunch more lakes? Sure, but the greenies hate that too, rightly so, I might add. So hydro's out of the question. Biomass, what is biomass? Where does it come from? Biomass is generated, at least in the UK, is generated by the chopping of down of virgin pine trees in the south. Virgin pine trees, put them on a boat that's run by diesel oil or diesel, and they're sending overseas to England so they can burn, so they can just basically create the gas that is what they use for biomass. It's such a freaking scam. And until the green freaking fools get sent to freaking Siberia, that's our biggest concern. It's not the money machine go whir, it's the freaking greens. That not only are they evil because they hate people, they want abortion, they want freaking 1 million vaxes so you can not procreate, all that stuff. They push the 57 flavors, all that stuff. They want you in poverty, man. They want you to have a heat pump in Maine, for instance. Good luck with that. If you're going to add more to the load, because remember, Maine and other states too, what they're trying to do is they're trying to say any new vehicle that's bought in Maine has to be an electric vehicle. No one wants those craps. Electric vehicles that jump the shark, but they're going to mandate it. Anyone who wants a car has got to get an electric vehicle. All right, so let me ask you there, Janet freaking Shills up there in Maine, the governor of Maine. You're going to add to the load with your stupid electric vehicles and your heat pumps. Where does that increased generation come from, Janet Shills? I want to know. You're going to add to the load the demand for electricity because we're going to mandate electric vehicles. We're going to mandate heat pumps to heat our homes. Where does the increased generation come from, you freaking fool? Oh, you're off grid, you're off freaking offshore wind turbines that are killing all the right whales. Dude, it's so it's idiotic. And yet people always, the whole thing with Israel, let's focus on Israel. Let's focus on Israel as the freaking border's insecure. Let's focus on the money machine go whir as the freaking green people are just marching through the whole thing because that's where the money is. The green guys got the money. They got the money. And they're buying up politicians left and right. Even your boy Matt Gaetz fell for it. I don't know if he still is, but I first heard him say, we got to be green to appeal to the young generations. I said, I don't want anything to do with this guy. Guy's got no moral code. I'm glad he took out, Kevin freaking McCarthy, but my goodness, that's good. A good job Matt Gaetz. But if he hasn't changed his thing on the stupid green stuff, I don't want nothing to do with it. I do like Mike Johnson, by the way. I'm a big fan. I'm glad he's in there. And for some reason, people on the right are like bashing this guy. It's like, dude, he's better than Kevin McCarthy, man. Kevin McCarthy sucked. All right, so I want to show you guys St. Louis Fred U.S. debt. Does it give me national? Let's see. I can't remember. Federal debt. There we go. Sweet. You want to. There we go. All right. Yeah. Sweet. Nice. Oh, I got to think. What's a good song to sing? So I'm digging. Is Pulverizer here? I'm digging the Pink Floyd album, The Final Cut. That's a pretty good album. Did not like The Wall. A couple good songs in The Wall. Pretty boring. Enough where I literally just felt like I think I'd rather go to a Cher concert in New York City on New Year's Eve with that Andy Cohen guy and Anderson Cooper, who's the Gloria Vanderbilt clan, and wear pink tight T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? I think I'd rather do that than listen to Pink Floyd The Wall. Ugh. But I do like the Final Cut. I got to think of a good song. What's that guy saying? He said, beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. I got to get that in the back of my head. Hang tight, guys. Hang tight. It's a beautiful day. It's a, yeah, there it is. It's a beautiful day. I like hippie music, man. So let's check them out. What the hell is this? Dude, Hans, you're banned, dude. I'm banned. What the hell was that? Beautiful day. Thank you for sunshine. Hans, what happened to you, man? Oh, how dare you, Hans? Yeah, I don't want to ever hear another word from Hans again. He's got to make. Okay, here we go. It's a beautiful day. Let's see if this is different. All right, Hans. So white bird. Okay, there we go. Ooh, like it. I can't have that playing while I'm doing this, or else I'll get copyright struck. Hans, I must have hit something wrong. It's a beautiful day. Sound like some. I can never get that 5 seconds back in my life. How dare you, Hans? All right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, let's go to share screen. Can't believe people here just listen to me rant. This is crazy. But I appreciate it. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Absolutely. Trust me, I do. Much obliged. God is good always. And if loving the Lord is wrong, I don't want to be right. Just FYI, I was actually listening to some Bart Ehrman on the way over here. And Bart's a big agnostic. He used to be a son of a Baptist preacher in North Carolina. And then he started reading the Bible and stuff. And a lot of people, it's weird to me. Let me just go with this real quick. A lot of people will find if you have any questions about the Bible, they'll think you're like lost your mind. You shouldn't be like that, Christians. You should say, yes, there are some issues with the Bible. I grant you. The issue isn't the Bible, though. The issue with me is my belief in a creator, the one who established everything from the dawn of mankind and on and beyond, the supernatural, eternal. Now, can you say for a fact that Jesus rose from the dead? I can't say it for a fact. Do I absolutely believe that? 100%. Why? Because I think the Bible speaks pretty doggone clearly toward that. 100%. 100%. And that's good enough for me. Now, when I get up there and God says, hey, Josh, you gave it a good college try, but you chose wrong. I don't think so. I think God gives us a soul. And I think that soul is so we can love him, obey him, and God can love us back. For not just this tiny, stupid realm, but for everything. I think you have the free will to say, God, like C.S. Lewis always says, like I always say about C.S. Lewis, he said, God says, we say to God, thy will be done. And then if we choose to deny God in this lifetime, God says, thy will be done. I don't banish you to hell. You chose yourself. And for some people, that might be what they want. They say, I don't deserve to be with God, or I'm angry, or I trust Satan, even though Satan lies to everything and everybody. All right, so let's check this out. So we're going to go back to, how dare you, Josh? Don't you know? KJV for me. So anyway, same thing. Here's our federal debt. Look, we didn't have any debt back then. And if you, if you look at my book, I can't remember, Relax and Retire. I don't think it was Relax and Retire. It might have been You Can Retire on Social Security. I can't remember which book I had, but I showed you, I don't think it was Relax and Retire, but one of my books, I showed you how everyone's griping about the debt that we had, back then in the old days, like under FDR and stuff. We're going to go bankrupt with all the debt. It's just the same thing. Anyway, so here we got $324 billion of debt, all right, federal total public debt. Now we got $33 trillion of debt. And that's just, again, that's on the books. That's not unpaid liabilities and all that. Just, it is what it is. It's never, ever going to be paid off, ever. So all these fools out there, we got to start paying down debt. Who do you pay it off to? You start calling in your bonds from Grandma Jones, who owns some of those bonds. Thanks, Grandma Jones. We're going to take that bond back, and we're just going to burn the note. It's like a Dave Ramsey mortgage burning thing. Not going to happen. All right. So anyway, so what we have here, again, same kind of thing. You see 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16. See how they're all the same size apart here? Well, let's go back and log it. Look at that. From 1990 2008. That's when they were saying initially there's going to be massive amounts of debt right there. In fact, if we make this, change this date right here. Oh, wait, hold a second. Something wrong. Let's go. 2010 01 01. There we go. Cool. See? Look at that big jump, Josh. Look at that. This is from 2008 to 2010. Look, look at that jump from 9 trillion to freaking 12 trillion. Oh, the printing machine goes whir. All right, so now we're just going to go to max. So that doesn't look so bad now, does it? No, it does not. Oh my, look at that, Josh. Oh my gosh, printing machine goes whir. So let's go to 1966. I'll just go to 1990 for giggles here. All right, there. Look what happened to Reagan. Government machine go whir. We're all gonna die. Yeah, okay. Oh, actually, let's even go. Wait, remember? Why do we have inflation here? Look at government printing machine did not go whir apparently right there, did it? That's weird, but this is when the inflation was, right? Look at that. And the amount of debt in 1970 was 372 billion. Amount of debt in 1975 was 509 billion. 372 to 509 or whatever it is. That's not a huge jump. And over the course of 5 years, right? And then from 1980 it went from in 10 years, it went from 372 to 863, a little bit more than the double in 10 years. In 1980, it went from 863 to 3 trillion. So about quadrupling in debt from 1980 under Reagan to freaking 1990 under the silly Bush the elder. So it quadrupled there. Here it basically doubled, and yet here's where the inflation was. Here there's no inflation. It's kind of crazy. So what? The printing machine didn't go whir then? Everyone said it did. It didn't go whir then? Everyone said it did. It went whir here too, right? Yeah. And that's why I have the inflation, don't you know? Well, it's weird we have the other two times. So we'll format it, go back to logging this, and we're going to show you again. Whoa. Remember? Printing machine go whir. That's where the huge amounts of debt was going to happen and collapse the economy. We'd all be freaking living in a van down by the river because interest rates would be sky high. Oh, kind of weird, isn't it? Yes, it is. And then just look, zoopsh. Again, if we want to, we can log this and make it. I mean, look at that. It's just not that big of a deal. I mean, look, 35 billion trillion quadrillion doesn't matter. It's never going to be paid. But if you want to make this, we'll go back to make this 1980, and we'll say boink, boink. I mean, you can see here, this is logged up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's kind of like also the Catholic Church. Stand up, get on your knees. Stand up, on your knees, on your knees, on your knees. Blah, 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 blah. So that's not really a huge increase in federal debt, is it now? No, it's not. And then we go from 1974 to 1980. Well, that's a big increase. Oh my goodness, but that's not that big of a deal. But this is when the inflation was. So now we're going to make this 1990 under old Ronnie RWR. I love Ronnie Reagan. I hope you like him too, because if we can't have anarchy, Republicans will do. Right there, big increase. And yet, it didn't seem to happen for inflation. Why? Maybe it's not the monetary supply. I'm just throwing it out there. Oh man, people are leaving. Okay. All right. Saw your video on Dave Ramsey. Saw you were at Chesapeake. Yeah, I thought so. We got John. I know you like the Ross. What are your thoughts on taking a year with my AK and do a self-directed one of my own? I think I can double it. I am 52. I don't know why I think you can double it. Yeah, I absolutely love Ross for sure. Hey, from Moonbase. Yeah, why would you not do Roth? Ross are crushing. I don't know why you double it though. I don't get that. Wednesday up north, they're calling for snow. Ooh, Ronald, you're in Watertown? Yeah. Hey, Murray. No, they don't cheat with the votes. Do not ever say that again. They do not cheat with the votes. It is sickening, man. It's sickening, sickening, sickening. I saw that. Yep. How would I invest a large inheritance assuming you have no debt? Man, good question, man. How would I invest a large inheritance assuming you had no debt? Well, if I'm living off, I mean, I'd go back my barbell. If I don't have 4 years of cash, I'm getting 4 years of cash, and I'm putting the rest in VTI, the Vanguard Total Stock Index. If my mom died today and left me a large inheritance, which is which is actually funny if you think about it, let's just say she did. God bless my mom, but let's just say somehow she stuffed a bunch of freaking gold coins under her mattress, which she didn't, but let's just say she did. I'd keep it gold, but other than that, I'd pay off all my debt, but you already have your debt paid off. I'd put 4 years in cash to live on. I'd put the rest in VTI, the Total Stock Index. You might want to look at some real estate. I don't have any desire to be in the real estate business, though, none whatsoever. But you could say, hey, I want to buy a second house or something like that. Real estate is a good investment. When I say good investment, I'm not saying it's a good ROI, return on investment. I'm not necessarily saying that. Real estate historically has kept up with inflation, 100%. So inflation, again, as I always got to say, side note, sidebar, the way they measure inflation is silly for someone who has no debt, but we'll go with it. But if you just look historically, real estate and inflation have kind of gone hand in hand. So, I do have lots of clients who have rental properties that are freaking crushing. And I have some that have rental properties and are being crushed. It's just a fact. But the a quite large majority of my own clients who have rental real estate are doing quite well because they bought their real estate 10, 15 years ago, man. You know what I'm saying? So this is what's cost. It's like a yield to cost. All right. So let's just think about this. Let's say you bought a house for $100,000 in 2009 in Las Vegas. All right. So you bought a house for $100,000, 2009 for Las Vegas. You're able to rent it for $1,000 a month for just simplicity. We're just going to do this basic number. 100,000 is our basis. That's like what we paid for. It's our basis. We're getting $1,000 a month in rent. All right. So we'll say $500 a month in rent is probably a better scenario. So we're getting a $6,000 dividend yield, if you want to look at it like that. We put $100,000 in, we're getting $500 a month. We times that by 12, that's $6,000. So that's a 6% dividend equivalent yield. I should do a video on that. That's a good terminology. Dividend equivalent yield. Yeah. All right. Now our cost is still $100,000. I grant you, there's going to be property taxes, there's going to be maintenance, all that. So we're going to go 20 years from now. 15 years from now. So our cost, we'll say $150,000, all right, because we had to pay property taxes, we had to do some maintenance and all that stuff. But it's no longer $500 a month. Now we're charging $2,000 a month. All right, so we had $500 a month as a rent, all right. That was giving us a 6% dividend yield. Our cost basis went from 100 to 150 because of all the maintenance we had to pay. And that's the nice thing about stocks, frankly, there are no maintenance. That's the benefit of dividend stocks. There's no maintenance cost. There's no property tax. I mean, you got to pay qualified dividend income tax, I grant you, but still, it's quite low. But anyway, either way, there's no maintenance, there's no toilets, no tenants. That's what makes dividend stocks so great. But anyway, be that as may. So now we have $150,000 as our cost, but instead of getting $500 a month rent, we're getting $2,000 a month. So our yield to cost now, 24 divided by 150 is 16%. Again, same thing as I said before. When the only way a dividend yield can go up is if the dividend pays you more or the price of the stock goes down. Same thing is happening here. The rent is going above the cost because the cost is already sunk. Other than small potato costs, and it might not be small potatoes in terms of you got to get a new roof and all that, but still we increased our cost by 50%, but our rents went up by 200%. Right? Yeah, because 5 to 1,000, 200%. I guess 400%. Right? Either way, our rents went up more than the cost did, and so now we're actually got $224,000 a year on a $150,000 property, and the property might even be worth more. Let's just say the property itself has a fair market value of $300,000. All right, so we're getting $24,000 a year on a $300,000 property. Could we sell the property and get $24,000 a year? No. because there's no stock that's paying 8% dividend yield unless it has some serious downside risk there. And so not only is our yield to cost significantly higher than it was when initially purchased, but the alternative is there's no alternative. We're getting essentially an 8% dividend yield without, I won't say no downside risk, but minimal downside risk. Now it's a pain, I grant you, and you still got maintenance costs on that. But if you were to, I had this guy in Phoenix, he had a condo or something like that in Phoenix, like Tucson. He paid like $70,000 because the guy's just crushing. He said, "Should I sell it?" I said, "Dude, Sean, I can't remember his name, Sean Patrick freaking Smith, whatever. Sean, we should call him Sean Patrick McGillicuddy." I said, "Sean Patrick McGillicuddy, put that freaking pint of Guinness down, man. Stop playing the freaking fifes. Come on, let's wake up here. If you were to sell that puppy, I think he was getting like $1,500 a month or something like that. So even if you were to sell it for $150,000, you're getting 15, whatever it was. You're getting $18,000 a year on a $150,000 property. Actually, I'm even discounting what it was. I remember it's like a sickening amount of money he was getting off that rent. So where are you gonna invest that to get that same kind of return? There is no place. So anyway, that might be something to think about, man. There's Ted. I was talking last night with my brother from Cincy. The city has turned totally blue with scarlet. Yeah, man, that's crazy. I remember Cincinnati used to be a right-wing city. I remember that because they used to. I remember they used to talk about how Cincinnati with the cops and stuff, and like the mayor was, remember Daryl Gates from L.A. and the mayor, and I remember that like 25 years ago. That's crazy. I remember Cincinnati was a red city. That's crazy. It's just the people who could got. It's white flight essentially, but it's not just white flight anymore. It's like middle class flight at this stage. Yeah, but we're also having kids. Like I was saying earlier today, I have 4 kids. My brother has 4 kids. My sister has 2. One of my friends from the army, well, not from the army, when I worked at USA, has 6 kids. I just listened to this guy from Cleveland, who's in a band I followed, and I actually used to communicate with him about freaking 25 years ago. He wouldn't remember me, but that he's got 6 kids. You know what I'm saying? And they might have more pro-abortion now, but some of these women are going to snap out of it. Men love abortion. They just, they can get jiggy with it and have no responsibility. Women don't. That's just a fact. And just this whole, remember they tried to do, be proud in your abortion thing. Yeah, that went over like a friggin', can of lead or whatever, lead balloon, because there's no way you can be proud of your abortion. Everyone knows it's evil. Everyone knows in their mind's eye, in their heart's heart, they know it's evil. They do. It's just they like to and look, men are the responsible parties here. They're the responsible party for feminism. I'm just telling you, it's not the women. Men are the ones who allowed this to happen because the men likes to get their willy wet and they don't want the responsibility. Look, I get it, what I'm saying. And so what the men did is they talked to a bunch of young ladies because look, men are more mature. Women are more, same age ladies are more mature than same age men. That's a fact. So what does older men do? They look at younger girls and they convince them with a fancy car, big checkbook, hanging out with a freaking football star. They convince them, say, "Hey, let's just get jiggy with it." And the girl says, "He loves me. He really does." No, and then and I hate to say it, but like, if you get knocked up young, dude, back in the old days, that's tough. That's tough. And what'd you do? You went to you went to Minnesota for a year, you know what I'm saying, to see your aunt. And it's just, anyway, that was the cause of men. Women should have felt they were young and dumb and stupid. It's the men who are young, dumb, and full of something else that they wanted to get their willies wet. It's the women who fell for it because they were young and ignorant. But the thing is that the men just leave and they wipe their hands and walk away. It doesn't happen for women. So that led to feminism. For sure. I mean, is there an idiot? Of course, feminism's stupid. We all know this, but you can't necessarily blame the women for that. I mean, think about it too. If you're, a decent looking girl and you're at some corporate gig and they're like, and you're trying to be, I think about my wife, you know what I'm saying? My wife's freaking hot, dude. So when she's in investments, pretty much a male dominated thing. You know what I'm saying? Like all these guys, they used to go to these strip clubs and Merrill Lynch would take them out of the strip. I mean, my wife's not going to be part of that crap. There was a boys thing. That's not favorable towards women to break that thing. You're such a liberal, Josh. No, I'm not. I would like women to stay home and raise their freaking children. Ideally, that's what I'd like. I'd like for that to happen. I like women to say this whole Sheryl Sandberg thing of lean in or whatever the hell it is. That's such a freaking joke. I'm not even doing it. I'm going to go home Screw corporate America because corporate America sucks. And I'm going to go freaking raise my children. I'm going to put out a lot of children. And I'm going to raise them to be the best people they can be. I'm going to homeschool them. I want to remove them from the evil that's dominating corporate America and government. I'm going to say, hey, this is the biggest FU you can have. If there's any young people watching, the biggest FU you can have is to say, screw you, corporate America, screw you, government America. I'm going home, raise my kids, and I'm going to homeschool. Screw you. That's the biggest thing you can possibly do. And you can do it. It wasn't that easy 20, 25, 30 years ago. It's a hell of a lot easier now. So on the backs of people like Mike Ferris, the homeschool in Virginia, Mike Ferris in Virginia, bunch of other people, man. Remember, back in the old days, I was just talking to my mom about this the other day, like breastfeeding was thought crazy. You're crazy to breastfeed. You know what I'm saying? It's, it's crazy. I mean, there's things like today, youngins don't even recognize how good they have. Owning a firearm, for instance. You can freaking carry whatever the hell you want. In Georgia, no one's going to say anything. It wasn't like that long ago. So there's been a lot of, and don't forget, everyone and their mom at some point said, the same thing with gay marriage. They said, oh, they'll never pass it. All said, we're going to take away your guns. And not only has that not happened, it's basically unlimited firearm ownership now. It's awesome. No, they're always going to try to come at it. You know, the same thing with the abortion lobby. They're pretty powerful, the abortionists, because they hate people and they got the money. The gun lobby doesn't have a lot of money, but we have a lot of motivated people say, we've already given away an inch. They took a yard. We're never doing that again. Now, we might lose some battles, but we're going to win a lot of we'll win a lot of the wars. That's a fact. Because we basically, remember, the Republican Party was not that keen on guns, man. Don't forget, Reagan was in favor of gun control because he hated the Black Panthers having guns and walking through the streets of San Francisco and Berkeley with firearms. Reagan scared Reagan to death. And a lot of the freaking white Republicans said, we can't have these Black Panthers walking around carrying rifles. The hell you can't. That's what the Second Amendment is, baby. And so a lot of Republicans were big on gun control. Reagan was big on abortion too, by the way. Just a lot of people don't know that. Just a fact. And so at the end of the day, the Republican Party was like, oh, I'm scared. Like, just like the Democrats when it came to gay marriage. And then they had a group of people who started small, but slowly built their way up. And then it just freaking the same thing. The gun control thing just went by, and then the abortion crowd. But we won on abortion. Roe v. Wade is no more. That's all we ever wanted. So how can you sit there and say, as a pro-lifer, say, oh, we're losing? We haven't. We won. We beat back Roe v. Wade. Yes, Ohio changed. Obviously, if you can change the Constitution that easily, it can be changed again that easily. See what I'm saying? Trust me. Just a matter of time. Because people know, they know abortion is evil. And if you've had one, trust me, we've all done evil things. You are not an evil person. Now, if you're going out there promoting abortion and freaking punching women in the stomach when they're carrying a baby, yeah, that's evil. You need to go to jail. But you know in your mind's eye, and the man who got the chick freaking wet his willy and got her knocked up, he knows too. He knows it. He's worse. Because as like Owen Benjamin says, I love this. This is great. He goes, when you wet your willy with a girl that's not your wife, only 3 things can happen. 3 things. You kill the baby, all right? You have the baby, but you don't have anything to do with it, all right? Or you marry the woman and take care of them. That's it. There's only 3 things. The baby gets killed, the baby's born, but you're out of the equation because you're a scumbag. The only honorable thing, and this is what I tell my own sons, I said, man, do not wet your willy with anybody unless you're willing to be the husband and the dad that they deserve. Do not do that. Trust me, I'm a hypocrite. I grant you. It's scary. When I was in high school, I thought I had my girlfriend pregnant. And that was freaking scary. Scary. We didn't have an abortion, but I'll never forget that, man. That was scary. I was like 17 years old. Just I had nothing going. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I tell my sons, I said, do not ever wet your willy. Save that for someone you love. Do not waste your stuff on freaking just don't. It's not worth it, man. It's just not worth it, because if you do that, 3 things are going to happen. She's going to get pregnant. And if she gets pregnant, you got 2 choices: have the baby or kill the baby. That's it. And if you're going to have the baby, you got 2 choices: freaking marry that woman and be the dad and the husband that she and the kid deserves, or you're going to freaking be a scumbag and walk away, as many men have done. And men need to hold themselves accountable for that. This MGTOW stuff. I'm going my own way. Ugh. Dude, society needs nuclear family. It's just fact. And if you're single, that's not like, oh, you're an evil person. No, hell, man. My mom got divorced twice. You know what I'm saying? I love my mom. And was she a net positive for society? Of course. Of course she was. She had me. But of course she was. You know what I'm saying? But ideally, she should have stayed married. Now, first husband was my dad, scumbag. Second husband, I'm not really sure. I wasn't really in the talk to my mom very much back then, but something happened with that. And I don't know. I have nothing, no judgment there. But it's actually funny because I was on Facebook. I posted something on the main Peaks Island Facebook group, and a lady who I was good friends with her son posted, "Hey Josh, how are you?" I say, "Hey," her name's Jane. I said, "We just got to talk about my mom." She goes, "All I know is when I first met your mom, because Jane was friends with my mom's younger sister. She goes, she was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life, ever." I said that about my mom. I said, "Man, I've heard that many times. The crazy thing, what the hell has she seen my dad?" You know what I'm saying? What the hell? And his lady said, "I don't know. They have their ups and downs, a lot more downs than ups, but anyway, all right." I'm okay. Josh, how many scrubbies are on my mind today? I'm good. Back in. You are back on. Okay. Oh, stop worrying about the US dollar going to crash. What else are you going to do? And William Devane. Oh, yeah, right. Gold and silver. And William, that's right. That's right, Larry. It's funny. We used to spend silver coins, Josh, for lunch. Hmm. Silver can be liquid. I invite you guys, by all means, man. Use silver all day. If you want to do it, start the trend. I got no qualm, none at all. I invite you guys to use silver. Start the trend, 100%. I'd love to see it. It's just not going to happen because the dollars were too convenient. We're used to it, and now it's time the dollars, credit cards now. But by all means, carry about a freaking sack of silver and buy a piece of pizza with a sack of silver. I would love that. And wait till you go to the store and say, "Here's a couple ounces of silver." They're like, "Huh?" Uh, what would you have to barter with? Yeah, I tend to agree with Ted here. No, I don't even think it's a hedge against hyperinflation. I think it's a hedge against commie inflation, if that makes sense. Oh, so they weren't printing before 1971? It was 1971 when they started, because you're going to say they got off the got off the gold window. They closed the gold window down, so they weren't restrained, but they were restrained before then. Did you not see? Did you not see that we had debt before 1971? I mean, this only goes back to 1966. But I mean, we'll edit the graph here, and we'll go to 1971, and we'll show you we had debt back then too. We went from 320 billion to 390 billion of debt, right? Which means we had deficits. Where did that money come from? Come on now, silly. The idea that getting off the gold window all of a sudden made inflation high is actually kind of funny too, because we had quite a bit of inflation after World War One and quite a bit of inflation after World War Two. Before we were still on the gold standard, the Federal Reserve was just created in 1913, the same year as the IRS, the FBI, the Federal Reserve, and then ADL of all things, Anti-Defamation League. If you want a fun thing, look at the history of the ADL. By the way, you'll be blown. Look at the origins of the ADL. You're going to be blown away because there is a. Let's just put it this way: it began in Atlanta, Georgia, and the Southerners. Let's just put it this way: they did not take kindly, the Southern whites, to a black guy being made to be the perp. I think it was on a rape of a white woman. So they actually, the white Southerners defended the black guy because they knew he wasn't guilty. Because a guilty guy, on the other hand, was let's just put it this way: you should look up on the ADL. You'll be shocked. Like, wait, white Southerners defended a black guy from the rape of a white woman. Yes. That's kind of creepy. It is. And the governor of Georgia got involved, and then the governor of Georgia, after he did something, because I'll let you figure out why, he skedaddled out of Georgia, because they're like, why did it's actually it's creepy. It's all politics, and some people have a better way of politics than others. Gold versus, you don't ever want, where'd you rather be? I'd rather be in S&P 500, 100%. 100%. So Tom says gold versus S&P 500, 100%. But it's not mutually exclusive. You can have both. In the 80s, says Marie, along with co-workers, were involved in a scheme to buy gold coins at a discount. When we received them, we sold for $500 an ounce. Thought we were rich back then. Good point, Ted. Buffett always says cash is crap. Yeah, he's currently holding 157 billion. Yeah, doesn't Buffett only say keep 10% or something like that? Okay, yes. I mean, these aren't mutually exclusive things, people. I'm not saying don't own gold. I'm just saying the idea that we have gold as a currency in replacement of cash is dumb. It's just not going to happen. It's just not. I'd be a hell of a lot more worried about CBDC than gold it's going to take over at some point for sure. It's going to be a central digital bank currency. I'd be a hell of a lot more worried about that than cash not being just going bankrupt. Come on. We need currency. Currency is the stream to keep the liquidity. Currency, liquidity, shocking. A bank, it's like a river. Currency, liquidity, a bank. We need these things to happen. And the way that happens with cash. Now, again, cash is becoming less and less used because we're using credit cards, for sure. But in terms of investment position, cash is king because cash is liquid, convertible, just like that. Via check, via credit card, via just good old-fashioned greenbacks. Gold, good luck with that. I'd love to see people do that. I'm telling you, I keep cash. I don't have any cash in my wallet right now. I wish I did because I forgot to go to the ATM. Cash for me is my reserve. Now, do I have some gold? Yes. Should you have gold? 100%. But if you're sitting there saying, I don't want a money market account, I'm going to buy a bunch of gold instead, I just think, I don't think you should do that. 100%, dude. The entire world runs on USD. Well, might not anymore. That's what everyone's worried about. They're worried about the world not running on the petrodollar anymore. And we'll see. But do people not realize the American economy is still by far and away the largest economy in the world? Hell, California is like the 4th largest economy in the world. You know what I'm saying? People want to trade with us because we have the money, the natural resources, we have the know-how. We still crush. It's not like we're freaking Guatemala. Nothing wrong with you, Guatemalan, but you're not America. We are the United States of America. We still get it done. And as such, we're going to say, if you want us to buy our goods, your goods, which is exactly what they want. All these countries are exporting countries. Who do they want to export? They want to export to us because we have the money. So they say, you want to sell your products to us to keep your economy going and your people employed at the level of middle class they've achieved over the last 50 years or so. You're going to take the dollar. It's just that simple. If you want to sell us your goods, China, Vietnam, Russia, all these people, you're going to take our dollar in return. So what happens? Again, economics 101. China sells us this crappy phone made by slave labor. And yes, I'm a hypocrite for buying it. I grant you, it sucks. I'm absolutely a sinner. How do we pay China for that crappy old phone? With dollar bills. They say, here's some dollar bills. That's what they call the current account and the capital account. And the current account, I forgot which one is which. It's been such a long time. I forgot. Anyway, it's current account and capital account. The two things are the same coin here. So anyway, we say, we'll take your phone, we'll give you $50, whatever the hell it is. China says, okay, of that $50, some of that's going to go to the slave labor. Some of that's going to go to fund the freaking commie, invasion of Taiwan. And the rest, we have more to do. We don't know, we're going to buy some stupid real estate and it's going to go bankrupt and whatnot. We still have some surplus. I can't remember if it's capital current. They still have surplus currency. Well, what do they do with that surplus currency? They'd like to get a return on that money too. They'd like to make some money on their surplus currency. So what do they do with that cash they have? Again, dollar bills. What do they do with it? Well, they can spend it, or again, not mutually exclusive. They do what? They can invest it. They can invest in some crappy real estate endeavor, which they've done, which is going bankrupt. They can freaking invest it in Russian rubles, I suppose, because everyone's getting off the dollar, right? Or they can invest it in 5% U.S. Treasury 10-year bonds. What do you think they're going to do? Oh, they invest in 5% U.S. Treasury bonds, 5% U.S. Treasury bonds, 10-year Treasury bonds. What do they get with that Treasury bonds? Oh, they get cash, not rubles, not rupees, cash. Good old-fashioned U.S. greenbacks. That's what they get. What do they do with that? Oh, they have to buy some of our stuff because Chinese need stuff from us too, believe it or not. It's not just one-way street. They need stuff from us. Coal comes to mind. Oh, yeah. They like our energy because we have lots of natural resources. Shocking. And other than Sniffy Joe up there, and once Trump gets back in, because he's going to win, we need to open up that spigot and start freaking mining for coal like you wouldn't believe. Coal, natural gas, and oil. 100%. Start freaking digging the ground, baby. And so China says, we want some of that because the world runs on energy. So how do they buy that? Oh, from their capital current surplus from selling us the cash, and the money they got in the interest on bonds. They start sending that back to us. Shocking. And we send them coal. We send them freaking natural gas, wheat. We send them all that. So you think this BRICS is going to stop that from happening? Oh, they're going to get rid of the dollar. Won't be any petrodollar. They still want U.S. stuff. Remember, we got 330 million people in the U.S., dudes. We're not South Korea. We got a crap load of people. The most are productive. Maybe not as productive as we'd like. Yes, we do get a bunch of lazy fools, I grant you. We got a lot of productive people here still paying taxes, still going to work. You know what I'm saying? Still got freaking a cot and 3 hots. Still busting their ass and taking names. And as such, we got a lot of consumers who want new phones, who want new freaking crappy TVs, who want the new gadgets that are made in China, Vietnam, India, and stuff like that. And we got a bunch of outsourcing. That's what I think is Lenin. Was it Karl Marx or Lenin? We'll sell to the capitalist the rope with which he uses to hang himself. So like American corporations are so freaking stupid. They're outsourcing a lot of American labor to these other countries. And that's, you just can't keep doing that. At some point, that is literally, that's theoretically, rhetorically, whatever it is, you're selling yourself, you're buying the short-term rope for the long-term you're going to hang yourself with. So that is a problem, outsourcing, 100%. Because you need people who have money, who have jobs, who have things to do to keep the economy humming. And we still do, by the way. I mean, even under Bo Jiden, we're still crushing. All right. Colin Powell, Iran, right, exactly. They want a war with Iran, 100%, man. Yeah. Mogadishu, 100%. Just heard the $2 bills are worth. Oh man, for real? I had some $2 bills. That's crazy. Some red logo though, Maria. The green label, not okay. Yes, we should. We should forget Israel. Should say Israel. We got to take care of our own borders. Until we take care of it, that's what the Republicans should do. Say, Bo Jiden, you want to bankroll Israel? We need to close our borders first. We have an invasion right here, right now. That's just a fact. Why are we so much more worried about Hamas paragliders and Russians in Ukraine than we are about our own borders? It's freaking sickening. And this is, I don't know who this guy is, Bob T. Never seen him on here. This is the false dichotomy, unfortunately, that's come across here. You have to be for Israel or you're anti-Semite or they're going to come over here. I'm like, they're freaking come over here now. The Republicans can hold Joe Biden accountable and win so many votes in the process. Until you close the damn borders, we're not giving Israel a penny. Ukraine too. I don't care who it is. We're not going to protect the borders of Israel until the freaking borders of the United States are protected. But they're not going to do it because the Israeli lobby is huge. Everybody knows this. By the way, anti-Semitic. Let's just stop that. I'm not saying Bob saying it. Stop that. I'm pro-America, not anti-anything. I'm just like, not even anti-Ukrainian. We shouldn't be involved in that crap. We shouldn't be involved in this crap either. And the reason, if you actually, come on, man. Do people still think that Hamas just woke up one day, they planned this out, and the Israeli defense IDF did not know what was happening? Do people actually think that? A paraglider has just happened on some freaking rave? Yeah, come on. Hours went by before any reaction. Oh, now we have some evidence that the Israeli helicopters are killing their own. I mean, I haven't followed that much because I don't pay very much attention anymore because it's all just stupid to get people fired up to have this false dichotomy. If you don't want us to support Israel in their time of need, you must be pro-Hamas. It's just stupid, man. I've had one guy said, you never said anything about Hamas. I said, yeah, Hamas are freaking evil scumbags. I said, look, I'm not going to say it every 2 seconds. Scumbags. 100%. 100% they are, without question. However, the idea that I'm going to get on a paraglider today and just fly on in with my freaking AK-47 and start shooting up people, and I'll get out of there and Israel will never know what to do. And again, it's Brett Weinstein, not an anti-Semite, Brett Weinstein. He interviewed a lady who was an IDF soldier on that same border like 20 years previously. And she goes, man, it doesn't make any sense. When I was there, if a cockroach would have approached, we would have known about it. But now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, paragliders. It's the whole thing's so stupid, man. It's obviously concocted. Innocent people got killed, 100%. I mean, evil will sacrifice innocent, righteous people to advance evil. And evil is being advanced as we speak. Because of this, evil is being advanced. You have people getting the hatred riled up everywhere. Great. I don't have my Bible here. I think it's funny too. People say, pray for Israel's in the Bible. Let's actually read what that quote is. I don't have it for Israel Bible verse. We got to read the whole Bible verse. I thought it was pretty interesting here. Because it actually doesn't say, that's what it was. It doesn't say pray for Israel. Did not people know this? So I was reading this. It's in Isaiah. That's 100%. It doesn't say pray for Israel. There's Isaiah 62, 1 through 12. On your walls, old Jerusalem, I have set watchmen all the day and all the night. They may never be silent. You who put the Lord in the remembrance, take no rest and give him no rest until he establishes Jerusalem and makes it a praise on earth. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray, this is Paul, which, I have challenges with. Pray based on the Lord's promise that all of Israel will be saved as is written. The deliverer will come out of Zion. He will turn away ungodliness from Jacob. Jacob. Who is Jacob? Oh, Jacob is Israel. Are there borders for Jacob? For this my covenant with them, and I will take away their sins. Nothing says pray for Israel. It says pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. That's in Psalms 122, 6 through 9. Peace be within thy walls and prosperity within thy palaces. For my brethren, you can pray for Jerusalem. Well, this is in Gaza, right? Pray based on the Lord's promise that all of Israel will be saved, as is written, the deliverer will come out of Zion, and he will turn away ungodliness from Jacob. Is Jacob a border, or is Jacob a human being? I hear this all the time. The Christians have been so... I can't really say too much more on YouTube. You must be an anti-Semite. Oh, well, what? Do you even know what a Semite is? Well, do people not know anything? I was called. I said, what? It's insane. Not in the least. What's a Semite? Define it, please. Oh, yeah, Semite. Yeah, okay. Ugh. Oil inflation, 100%. Not protecting our borders is 100%, Hodges. This is literally part of the plan. Love me some Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell for president, absolutely. If our military had to go to war, do we have enough? I know, that's a great question, Doug. Doug Casper, the ghost. Do we have enough armaments or has been left in Afghanistan sent to Ukraine? No one has any idea. No one has any idea. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, but he'll give the good call. I mean, I think the problem is I don't think the Republicans have his back. I think we have enough Republicans that I don't think they have his back. I mean, there's this huge turmoil in Republicans in Georgia and various states. New Hampshire comes to mind, where you have the Republican establishment and then you have the Republican voters. And somehow the Republican voters cannot get a good amount of Republican establishment types out. They just can't. I don't know what it is. The establishment hates, they hate. I mean, Nikki Haley, perfect example. They hate Trump. Isn't it odd? I mean, Nikki, she was big on Bubba Wallace. Remember Bubba Wallace? She was big on getting rid of the Confederate flag and at the Confederate whatever it was. She made a big issue out of that. And now she's we need Israel more than they need us. I'm like, what? That's just what? And I thought it was funny that Candace Owens says, "Hey, I run for president of Israel." Nikki Haley. It's just is weird, dude. Nikki Haley's just weird. I mean, these are the kind of people we're contending with. Yeah, we'll all fall for it. When it comes time, when Trump is done, 2028, we'll all fall for that person, but that person will be knee deep in cahoots with the establishment. The establishment loves the war machine. They just do, man. They love big pharma just as much. Ben Shapiro. They love big pharma just as much. I mean, but it's not just Ben Shapiro. It's Lindsey Graham. They love war. They love big pharma. It's what these guys are because they get paid. It's just fact, man. They get paid. Democrats already have the money because they're all rich, and they go to politics to get power. Republicans go to politics to get rich, and it's just who was I listened to the other day? Like her I forgot, it was somebody. Net worth was hardly anything, and then when she left Congress, it was like $15 million. I forgot what it was. I was like, what? That's just freaking weird, dude. Ugh. I only drink decaf, baby. I don't drink any. I don't have any caffeine. Always decaf. Yeah. Yeah, but no, we protested too, and look where it got us. It got us in jail. Protests don't do much, man. Protests don't do much. I would encourage people not to, get on their high horse. We're going to protest and show these people. What we've seen now is a genuine. I don't know why Liz Cheney isn't in jail, frankly, and those stupid idiots. They hid evidence. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know how the Supreme Court didn't get involved. I literally don't know. I don't know how that works. But we've had plenty of innocent black guys, for instance, stayed in jail for many years, falsely accused. You know what I'm saying? So justice takes time, and hopefully there will be justice, and hopefully the evildoers, Liz Cheney, go to jail for holding evidence that showed that completely exonerated these guys on January 6th. But the facts are, and I was talking to my mom, and she was married to a prosecutor. He was a district attorney, and he said cops lie. They lie all the time. All the time. That's what they do. They lie. And the sad thing is when the cops lie, is you have to prove them innocent. And just watch what's going on with my man Turtle Boy up there in Worcester, Massachusetts. He's facing years in prison for interfering with an investigation where the cops just fully made crap up. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And you're like, how did they get away with this? Well, because they're in charge. And the system is set up for the cops, the district attorney, and all that to be in charge. And now that the Republicans are on the receiving side of that, I hope that they start to say, hey, maybe we should back off a little bit on this, friggin', I don't do anything wrong. If they can come to my house. I got nothing to hide. You know what I'm saying? And trust the police all the time. No, this is my mom's husband, Republican too, district attorney, said they lie all the time. And he had evidence, he got experience with it because he was a DA for 12 years. 12 years he was district attorney. They lied all the time. And it's funny because the one time she got a ticket, I won't tell you too much about this, but let's just put it this way: he had some goods on somebody, and he was able to get the ticket because the ticket was bull crap. You know what I'm saying? And he said, "Hey," he told the whatever the courthouse was or whatever, the chief police, whoever, said, "You need to get rid of that ticket because you know why." You know what I'm saying? Because anyway, it's they got goods on some people. They all have goods on each other. That's just a fact. And so anyway, he got rid of the ticket, and then that guy needed something from this guy. I just laughed. I said, "This is such a freaking this is not what the Saturday morning cartoons said about the American politics. This is just freaking. You got the goods on me, and I'll call my card when I need to, and then look, man, that's the whole thing's funny. All right, you turned my head around about all oil causing inflation, the Feds being the reaction to it. Man, 100%, Ted. Look at Ted. Ted lives in Maine. He's smart, unlike Frugal X Mainer. Frugal X Mainer moved from Maine to Texas. Then he moved to Texas, so he's not that smart. He should have stayed in high inflation. High inflation leads to high energy prices, says the guy who accused me of being too caffeinated. Can you? Oh. Oh my goodness. High inflation leads to high energy prices. Oh. Oof. All right. Caused too much demand going on out there. So there wasn't too much demand back. Okay. All right. People love to think the printing machine go whir, that causes the inflation. Because the stimulus checks this time. Right, that's what caused it. But all the other years of massive printing didn't cause the inflation. But the stimulus checks, that's what caused it. There's always going to be a whipping boy. What caused inflation? Bailing out. It gets old, man. It gets old. The stimulus checks cause massive inflation. Yeah. So this guy says a stimulus check causes massive inflation. And then this guy says high inflation, high energy prices are caused by high inflation. Yeah, boy. Sadly, I don't want rates to go down. I love 5% saving, 100% family. Love 100%. No debt, cash for car, 100%, man. Jerome Powell for president, 100%. Yeah, so here we go again. So now that's what Frugal X Man was going to say. Now it went directly to the kids out there, and they were spending it all up like crazy. So now, because all the other spending didn't make its way to consumers, of course, it somehow just disappeared. Even though that's not what everyone was saying in 2008, 9, 10. Trust me, that wasn't what people were saying in 1980 under Reagan. Trust me, they were saying that literally. There's too much spending. The deficit's too high. Massive hyperinflation or massive tax hikes. We can't have this. This won't continue. They're literally saying the same thing. So now it's like, well, we put the money directly into people's pockets. Okay. I mean, that could be a warranted discussion, but it's just not, because we know what caused the high inflation. We know what caused it, which was the Ukraine war, which led to massive increases in energy costs. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. And as such, the energy prices go down, inflation goes down. I mean, can the Fed cause a little bit of inflation? Sure. For sure. I mean, absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and say printing doesn't do something, because actually there probably should be deflation other than the Fed printing. I will absolutely say, I grant you that. But the idea that the massive stimulus checks causes huge inflation, and yet M2 has gone down. In fact, that book, as I interviewed that guy, I forgot his name, Richard Vague. He has example after example after example of massive printing, and it did not lead to inflation. It just is not it's not even a close to 50% correlation. It's not even close. It's just not, man. So anyway, the issue here is M2's gone down, and yet inflation is still here. So how do you account for that? Right? Because M2's gone down for about 18 months now. I mean, M2 is down for 18 months. How do you account for that? No. And the inflation is still here. It's not back to even close to 2%. How do you account for that? Stimulus checks? Where's that stimulus check coming from? M2's down. Huh. Mhm. Huh. Where is that coming from? And by the way, all these stimulus checks increasing the cost of housing because just because you have a bunch of stimulus checks, that didn't warrant you to be able to afford a freaking $450,000 home. So what caused the price of housing to go up so much then? Cars? All that stimulus check caused increase in cars at 50,000 bucks a pop, 40,000 bucks a pop. Oh, what caused that? Huh. Hmm. That is a good point, Josh. Yeah, the price of housing went way up, and my stimulus check certainly wouldn't warrant me being able to buy a house. Hmm. But low interest rates. Oh, okay. Okay. Low interest rates. Oh, interesting. Because interest rates are quite high, and the price of housing is still not gone down very much, if at all. Interesting. Houses are still quite unaffordable. You know, interesting. Hmm. Or you could also say maybe when he shut down the whole damn supply chain for 2 years because everyone's scared crapless of COVID. You know what Fauci said, a severe flu. That's Fauci in New England Journal of Medicine, February 2020. I didn't say it. I'm just reporting what Fauci says. How dare you question Fauci? He wrote in the NEJM, this is a severe flu, but not anything worse. But we're going to shut the whole world down because of a severe flu. That's going to do great on supply chains. You know, supply chains get shut down. They get a war in Iraq, Ukraine, and we're going to go crazy on banning imports, at least the Europeans, of massive amounts of natural gas, and we're going to blow up the pipeline too. Kind of crazy there. What would that have anything to do with energy? Oh, and by the way, we're going to limit our ability to mine our own natural resources. We're going to spend heavy on stupid solar photovoltaic and winds. And what we're going to do, we're going to increase the load and decrease the generation. And what does that do to electricity prices? I wonder what. More demand on electricity because more load, less supply, i.e., with reduced generation. What does that do to electricity cost? And if electricity is more expensive for you, the consumer, what's it more expensive for the producer, the people who use electricity all the time to make goods that you will purchase? What does electricity do? On top of that, what else are we going to do? We're going to get rid of blast furnaces. All right, we're going to have all kinds of recycling of steel scraps. What does that do to the price of steel? Well, it makes it go way up. Because if you can't have a blast furnace, you can't really do what you need to do with steel. So then we have to import more. Yeah, crazy. It's almost like there's more than just a government printing press making inflation go. Whirr. It's almost like there's a lot more than just that. Almost like planned. It's almost like it was planned. They want people to get accustomed to downsizing the lifestyle. They've been talking about, look, you can't fly. And I saw a video that's from a couple years ago. Some clown liberal she was going to Portland. I'm not sure Oregon or Portland, Maine, but she was yelling and screaming on the plane at some guy because he's a Trump supporter. She goes, "You don't believe in climate change?" The guy was just like, "Dude, I'm just here trying to take my flight." And I just laughed. I said, "You're on a plane, you freaking idiot. If what causes climate change, these fools, would be CO2. You're on a plane, you freaking fool. The biggest emitter of CO2 is what? Planes and what? Guess the other one. Want to take a guess? You got to try flying an airplane and get on a vacation cruiser. Those cruise ships. And both these companies now, or industries now, advertising. They're trying to be green. You idiots! You idiots! That's not how you do this. You advertise that they're trying to shut down the industry by forcing you to give up your vacation for middle class people because we can't be green in terms of being net zero. It's stupid. Planes will never be net zero. Vacation cruise ships will never be net zero. It's dumb. But instead of fighting back, they do what all corporations do, like, just leave us be. Don't tax you, don't tax me, tax that guy behind the tree. You can tax somebody else. I'll be good, I'll be good. I'll pretend I can be net zero. Ugh. Hey, thanks, Marie. I'm not quite there on deflation yet. I think we're probably if we actually in a normal environment, we would be deflationary. Literally, and look again. Let me just back up. There is something to be said about government printing can lead to some inflation, without question. I don't have any question. I don't have a qualm with that. There can be some inflation. What's happening is not because government printing. It's just not. Some of it. But I think generally speaking, we'd be in a deflationary mode for probably the last 50 years if we were able to retain our budgets, for sure. I absolutely. So there is some hypocrisy there on my end. I grant you. Well, how can you say that? But because we have spent more than we've taken in, and that money does go into the currency, does go into the market, does have people have, especially low interest rates, easy loans, all that stuff does create wealth to something of wealth. It does create credit, which is used in the industry, used to buy things that you would not have been able to afford if we did not have inflationary pressure on the money. I get that. This right here, so that's why 2 to 3% inflation is reasonable, because the government will never run balanced budgets. They'll never pay down debt. So we're always going to have an increase in monetary supply, and that will increase the inflation or the cheapening of the dollar bill each and every year by 2 to 3%. I got no problem with that. None. If we didn't have that, if we had balanced budgets, we'd be in deflation, 100%. The economy can't run on deflation, though. It just can't, because we're so used to cheap credit. We're so used to leverage. We're so used to banks just printing money off when you go buy a loan for a home and stuff like that. Deflation would destroy everything, so they can't. So that's where we are now. And I don't have any qualm with that. The mass of I'm not going to say hyper, it's not even close to hyper, but the big inflation run up we've had is not due to that. It's just not. It's just like I said, all these other things. And people can disagree all they want. That's fine. But the evidence is not on their side. It's just not, because we have evidence on top of evidence on top of evidence where this kind of thing of the money machine go word did not lead to massive inflation, a crashing dollar, a crashing currency. And they'll always say, but Weimar Republic. Bruce, you're banned. You're banned. You're out of here. The Weimar Republic, don't you know? I always kind of funny too. It's like, let's say the Weimar Republic. The wheelbarrows of cash to buy a loaf of bread. And yet 10 years later, a massive war machine that almost took over the world. That's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Where'd that money come from? What the Bush, Prescott Bush, Henry Ford? Who else? Who else is financing that war machine? Because don't forget, Germans in the mid-20s, they take a wheelbarrow to the grocery store to buy a loaf of bread. But yet literally 10 years later, they got this massive war machine that's ready to take over the world. That seems kind of weird. How did that happen? Prescott Bush? I mean, did he have I don't know. Did he have enough money to finance that war machine? Henry Ford? Where'd that come from, man? It's kind of weird. The Kennedys? I don't know. I'm just saying, 10 years ago, they had nothing. And 10 years later, they have this machine that's going to run through, Moscow and St. Petersburg and friggin' the Blitzkrieg and all that. No way, dude. Yeah, Filipino wives are pretty smoking hot. I'm not going to lie to you, but not as smoking hot as my wife. Shortages causes inflation, 100%. Yep, 100%. Shortages are what's the cause of inflation. I could not agree more, Brad. Shortages cause inflation, 100%. Yep. Again, supply goes down, demand can stay flat, or it goes up. Either way, supply goes down. What causes supply to go down? Massive regulation, closing down supply chains, increasing cost to do business, regulation, all that stuff. Nope, you're banned too. I do so. Because inflation is a globe. We need nuclear energy, man. Need it. They have no plan on increasing energy. Yeah, what I'm saying. Okay, just because I just want to be clear. Just because I'm disagreeing with people doesn't mean I'm mad at them or anything. I just get so tired of government printing machine go work because I fell for it myself. I was a Freemanite. Inflation is always an everywhere monetary phenomenon. Too much money takes in too few goods. I believe that. I was a Freeman's acolyte. I have a book signed by Rose and Milton Freeman, Free to Choose. You're not going to find a bigger Freemanite than me. I was Chicago because that's where Freeman taught, the Chicago guys, and we were wrong. It doesn't mean we can't be right, but to say government printing leads to inflation, there is no evidence on any consistent basis. There's just none, man. Can you flip 10 coins in a row and get heads? Yes. Is the evidence strong that's going to happen? No. So then you can't say if I flip 10 coins in a row, it will be heads. The evidence is just not there to support that. It's just not. Can it happen? Sure. Would you bank your whole investment portfolio, your retirement stare on that thing? Why would you do that? It's just not there. So going back to what the other guy said, 100% Bruce. Solar panels in Maine. Stupid. The other guy was saying, for the American Legend guy, it's like, I forgot what I was going to say. About cash in the money market paying 5% or gold. Hey, these aren't mutually exclusive. You can have both, by the way, just FYI. You can't say I'm buying one, not the other. You can't have both. But to sit there and say, I don't trust the government. The dollar's going to crash. I'm going to put all my money in gold. I'm talking about a guy who's about ready to retire, who's got to have some bills to pay. He's still got to do transactions on a daily basis. Cash is king. Not much sun from November to April. Heat pumps, dude. Heat pumps are, they're pushing that because your stupid governor, freaking half Whitmer up there. Flowers on the wall. All right. Reminds me. We rant back only in written form. People worship the Bible as. I agree with the American Legend. The Bible isn't God. I completely agree with you. I remember hearing this I forgot who it was. Some pastor. He goes, "We have a problem of worshiping the Bible and not God himself." I'll never forget this because I was like, whoa. He goes, "We put too much emphasis on Jesus and not enough on God." He goes, "We put too much emphasis on Jesus and the Bible, the actual book, and not enough on God." And I remember I forgot who it was. I was taken aback. It's like, damn, I'd never heard anyone talk like that in my life. It's crazy. And now in hindsight, I think he's right. I think we don't put enough on the creator of all things. We put it on the Bible, this book, as if it's God. And it's just not. It's not. And God is God. And he's everywhere of all things. The eternal. And I'll never forget it. I can't remember what, probably 15, 20 years ago even. When I first started listening to like Andy Stanley. I used to like John Piper. He sucks though. Tim Keller. There's another guy. Andy Stanley. There's a couple other guys I listen to quite a bit. This guy out of Harrisonburg named Phil Smooland. He did a whole thing on Romans, which I liked a lot. And now I'm not the biggest fan of that anymore. But there's another guy too. I'm drawing a blank. Andy Stanley I liked a lot. Anyways, a lot of apology. I loved Ravi Zacharias. I loved him. I always thought he was kind of full of crap. I said, nah, I think your stories are way exaggerated. And sadly, Ravi had he liked to go to massage parlors, essentially. Pretty sad. He's a net positive, like Dave Ramsey. He has bad parts, but he's a net positive for society. I still think Ravi Zacharias was a little bit. Some of the stuff seemed just too incredible. I don't know, but there's fun stories to listen to. I liked him. The apologist, Michael Ramsden, big fan of him. Andy Bannister up in Canada, like him. Andy Bannister. There's a couple other ones. There's a couple of English guys. Oh, they're great. John Lennox, the mathematician guy. He's fantastic. I forget, but there's a bunch of from England, and I forgot. But anyway, I just started listening to this. I had never heard anything like that before about, God is still God. And don't overlook God in your worship of Jesus, and certainly don't look over God because the Bible. Don't look at the book of the Bible as if it's God, because the way you get with God is pray. It's praying. Yeah, I'm not in disagreement with you, brother. I'm not in disagreement. I'm not in disagreement. Um, and then we know that the Thomas More, Martin Luther, who they did not like. They all got together and they went after the Anabaptists. Kind of sad, but anyway. Yeah, they're never going to leave. They're never going to leave, Marie. That's 100%. I am 100% in agreement with you there, man. You worship God, recognizing that His Son Jesus rose from the dead in fulfillment of the Scriptures. I completely agree with that. No. I don't think it's an AI bot. I don't recall seeing him, but he's got good stuff to say here. I was just saying because you're typing a lot, but that's all right, dude. That's all right. Trump. Sweet. That's great news, Marie. Every time I do a live stream, Marie has something to share. I think Marie is the one who said Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. Marie also said in the locals live stream about what happened in Lewiston. All right. Yeah, right on. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, my friends. I'm getting tired. Hey, look at my back in Maine soon on leave. All right, look at Jeremy back in Maine. Make it. I'm the favorite Scanlon kid. Maybe now because I'm the one who went to see her for Thanksgiving. I'll be in the doghouse soon with my mom. I guarantee. Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate you. 290-199. You back up in there and Jeremy, you're in Augusta. No, you're not in Augusta. Where the hell are you at, Jeremy? I forgot. I got no problem with that. I don't think you get much in growing dividends, but I don't have a problem with that. The guy who invented autocorrect died. The fun will be. Oh, okay, now we can get started, Frenchy Mom. It's only been 2 hours and 3 minutes. How dare you? How double dog dare you? I'm just parking 50 to 100 each month. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Andrew is back. Everyone was asking about Andrew. Was it last week? Andrew is back and ready for action. So his surgery went well. Say prayers for all people that, dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for Andrew's recovery from his surgery. I'm sure he's got some physical therapy to contend with. Just keep him on the straight and narrow to get back so he can take care of his wife. And Lord, we pray for all those who are facing surgeries, facing right now scary things in the hospital, who are dealing with physical ailments that scare them. Just grant them the peace and whatever comes forward. Your will be done, Lord, and just give us the strength to recognize your will be done. And even it might not come out in this temporal plane the way we hope and anticipate and pray for. It's all under your command. And as long as we have faith, it'll all work itself out. We just pray in Jesus' name. Amen. So Andrew's back. So that's good, man. Exactly. Look at my man Fern remembering Andrew. Look at that. Good job. Hey, there's Sue West Pete. Sue West Peterson. Like I remember someone that was Liz. I don't know who Sue West Peterson is, but I'm glad you're here, Sue West Peterson. Yeah, look at my man Vern remembering Andrew. Right here. They said a Tucson heart attacks they could date. Yeesh. Look at my man. Look at the bot, American Legend, the bot, telling Andrew he hopes he's doing okay. And bots don't say that. Look at Celtic Spirit. My dad had a cardiac issue, eventually died by a stroke. His car caught him 85 years with a bum ticker. Oh, you didn't get that, Penelope? Oh boy. Well, Marie lives in Pennsylvania. That's why she's kind of slow. She's because she has that. She's always on her bike, so she wears a helmet, which like crushes her brain. So when she's done riding the bike, she's got to let it kind of get back into like more normal human way. Because right now, like the helmet's like funnel. I don't understand what that means. Funnel. I don't get it. And then slow just starts dissipating. It's like, oh, okay, now I get it. It took Marie 10 minutes when everybody else got like 10 seconds, but 10 minutes later is better than 20 minutes later, so we'll take it. Oh, Marie, that is good stuff. Funny how I looked several times and on the last one. Everybody's laughing, Marie. That's good stuff. I'm not going to highlight that one. Here's one from when Helen Keller's leg go because her dog was blind too. I was just listening to Mark Ripito, who does Starting Strength. He goes, "What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs laying on the floor?" Matt. A guy with no arms and no legs laying on the floor. His name is Matt. What do you call a guy with no arms, no legs hanging on a wall? Art. What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs in a bathtub? Bob. What do you call a knight that won't fight? Surrender. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, I just don't like covered calls, man. I mean, like they can play a small role. I got no qualm with that, but I'm not the biggest fan of that. When the markets crash, your covered calls hurt. They just do. All right, let's see what else we got. Have skills, 100%. Have skills, you can always borrow that. I could not agree more. And my skills won't pay the bills when the electricity stops. No one's going to want to hear some guy rapping on financial stuff when we're all on gold and silver. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be at Andrew's house. Andrew would be doing live streams like, Andrew, how do I wire a 120 outlet? And he's like, I don't know, dude, $50, I might give you something. But when these times will change, where my skill will be like, who's that Josh guy? What an idiot. What the hell? Yeah, I like silver. I like, yeah, 100%. I got no qualms with REITs. I got none whatsoever, man. I'm none whatsoever. I think REITs actually, like you said, if someone likes real estate but doesn't want to deal with it physically, 100%. No qualm at all, brother. All right. Let me just get down to the bottom here and see what we got, and then we're gonna get out of here because I am tired. Come now, found agree. Yeah, come now. Yeah, I never heard that one. Stop giving me money, Jeremy. My goodness, stop. Freaking everyone, just Jeremy, stop. I appreciate it, but look, man, you got to worry about getting that Filipina out here in the United States. So save your money for her. Cash is king, 100%, brother. This right here is man, I got your name on the top of my head. I can't remember. How about Spots on the Wall by Hu Feng Tong? 100%. There's Kurt Thomas. You can never predict the field. All we do is best we can hope for somebody. Yeah, 100%. All right. RC Sprout. There we go. Yeah, 100%. It was Russ. That's what it was. Russ. Look at my man Russ. Right on. Debt free. Maybe look at that. My man Russ. He's got cash. He's not worried about anything. He says, took your advice a couple years ago, and along with being debt free, has made my retirement go well. Not too stressed when market at 1%. Cash lets you sleep at night. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm getting tired. Josh, a Christmas rally, and then the next man, I don't know. Good question. I don't know. I got nothing. I got nothing for you. Appreciate y'all being here on a Sunday evening, but I'm gonna get on out of here, man. God bless and stay safe. And don't worry about it. America is still crushing. We got lots of problems. When have we had never had problems? We had slaves. We had Jim Crow. We had freaking Italian immigrants that we weren't considered white. We had Irish immigrants that we were white trash. We just We've always had stuff. Wasp that didn't. I mean, just we've had every single thing in this earth that could happen in the United States. Volcanoes, supposedly 3 Mile Island. Idiots run the show, and we just survived. Divine intervention, luck, I don't know, but this, still no other place to be. Man. This is it. This is where it's at. People want to be here. That's why we got this problem with the border. Will it be fixed? It's got to be fixed because you just can't have millions of people going through unabashed for years on end. You just can't. It'll be fixed. Look, the funny thing is when the Democrats are up against the wall politically, i.e., San Francisco, they get stuff done. They don't think twice about it. You know what I'm saying? It's the funniest thing ever. There's still kids in cages. No one cares. It's the issue is when the Democrats are in control, they act like the fascists that they are. They get stuff done. They mandate vax, the whole thing. You see what I'm saying? So if you really want the border fixed, ultimately you got to have their Democrats in there because they'll stand hook on it. They'll freaking fight you tooth and nail. But the minute the freaking Democrats are like, all right, now it's time to fix, they get notified by whoever controls things. All right, now it's time to fix the border. It'll get fixed. Now it's time to clean San Francisco. It gets clean. It's a Potemkin village, I grant you. But they do it. Get out of here, man. We'll see you guys. God bless. Thanks now.